good, y'all? Quan from TWLC. Always remember, peace and love.
What's good, y'all? Welcome to Truth Out of Context. I'm Quan.
Game stream.
Shizui Sensei.
And today's topic, and possibly one of my favorite ones, is communication problems. So, into it, listening to understand versus reply. Now, an example of that is you go to a person and you try to address a problem with them. Talking about what you brought up, they'll bring up something that has nothing to do with the situation at all. So instead of going on a narrow road to fix the problem, now confusion and nonsense.
Yeah, and I understand where you're coming from on that because you got so it's problems in a lot of areas where people don't try to listen to understand. They try to talk to get past and completely ignore voice to reason and all that. And it's really a big problem in a lot of different areas because you know communication skills is what really helps you know can help you understand. There's something wrong, there's something that you need to know.
True.
That's how you figure it out. Is sometimes it's communication.
And not only that, there's a lot of misunderstandings with people too, because you could say something and a person may get offended, and you could just be like, simply the right answer is just to be like, oh, I didn't mean it that way.
Don't take it out of context.
When a person misunderstands something.
Don't take it out of context.
Yeah.
But see, the problem nowadays is even like, let's say they think a person is bullying them. That person could be like, oh, I don't want you to think I'm picking on you or nothing like that. Nowadays, people won't do that. They'll be like, oh, that person's feeling some kind of way. That's on them. I don't got to explain myself to nobody. And then when all these altercations and problems emerge, then they wonder why that happened. Like, if you didn't mean something and you see a person taking it the wrong way, then tell them.
Yeah,
True,
it's
you got a
like
point.
you know what I'm saying? You got communication problems like in general, and then you got communication problems in like relationships. You just mostly like communication is like just like a really big thing, especially in relationships. Like I've been in multiple relationships where it was just communication problems, and I was just so misunderstood. Like everything I would say, you know what I'm saying, some of my exes or whatever, it was just everything I would say, I would have to like refrain what I wanted to say because I knew it would be misunderstood, and it would just be taken out of context. You know what I'm saying? They would get a whole
Right.
other meaning from it. Like well, who I'm with now, Deja, it's like she a lot more mature than anybody ever dated, so it's a lot
Yeah.
different when it comes to her. So she can get a more of an understanding for what I say. And, we don't
That's
have
true. And not only
problems like I used to have like that, and because it's definitely a
that's,
really
Yeah,
big thing.
you got a point. Yeah.
yeah, and that's a good thing, man. And also, it's not only misunderstanding between people. Some people misunderstand. They don't understand what they be saying about themselves. Like this person said, "Oh, I'm an adult. I'm not a child. I expect to be treated like one." But yet you go on and say something like, "I don't like being told no. I cut up whenever I don't get my way." Then you go back and say, "Oh, I don't like." What do people not understand? No means no. So let me get this straight. You want to be treated like an adult, but you still want to act like a spoiled, entitled child. Do you even understand what you're saying?
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah, it's
Like,
you know what I'm saying, it's sad. I mean, that's just like contradicting. That person was just contradicting himself pretty much. Like that's just like as far as
Yeah,
I
because
guess that's the communication problem. But they was just contradicting themselves. When it came to that,
oh yeah, what was
making
that?
themselves look kind of silly. You gotta remember, if you're gonna say something about yourself, you better make sure you remember that, so you don't go back and say something else that contradicts that, and then somebody can be like, "Wait, didn't you say this?" And then you just look stupid. You just look silly, man. You look silly.
and see, the problem is, Sensei, that they don't even recognize what they be saying.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm pretty sure that person did not like understand, like they didn't think back like, wait, I did say, so and so earlier, so why am I saying this now? I'm kind of like, nah, they they just talking just to talk, pretty much.
Yeah, huge problem. Like a huge problem is people closing their ears.
Perfect, bro. Perfect. And the next part of our show we're gonna get into is that's another communication problem is egos. Just like I referenced back, then people feel like, oh, I don't have to explain myself to nobody. If that person feels some kind of way about what I said, it's on them. But you thinking that is just gonna cause you more problems. Like another example is this person was having a little issue because they felt some kind of way about something a friend did, and we knew this person less time than the other person did. And the person who actually knew him longer, forget him. He can do whatever he wants. I don't care. But I'm just thinking like deal with somebody that you knew longer. Then what does that say about you?
Think about
Yeah, that's true. I mean, just from experience, a lot of times when you have like a problem, with like in a relationship or like a friend, or something like that, or even a family member or somebody a big thing is with people is people just assume stuff, and they let
Right.
their like emotions get the best of them because if you got a problem with something or you have a falling out with somebody close to you, like in a relationship or something, you to talk to that person to actually understand what this problem really is instead of just making up, what ifs and making it seem like that's the actual problem when it's not.
Exactly. And I swear, when you have a problem between somebody, don't tell nobody else because people will go run to others who are gonna make them feel like they're right about the situation, even though they might be wrong. So you gotta recognize that telling everybody else your business is not gonna help you solve the problem. Y'all already don't want to talk to each other because you feel like, oh, this person should come to me. But in reality, if y'all both doing that, it's simple problems that can be fixed,
yeah.
and you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Thing about egos is though, I got a really big ego. I got especially when it comes to situations where uh let's say I bring up a situation with my ex one time. A lot of times, a lot of situations. This is example of a lot of situations we had. So I know I'm right about something, and she don't understand what I'm like what I'm trying to say. So like my ego just and then she clearly think I'm the stupid one or something. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know I'm right and I know what I'm talking about. So like my ego just like I'm not about to just give up. I'm gonna keep arguing my point and and get a little a little hasty. Like back in the past. I mean, I wouldn't call her her name or anything like that, but I would get pretty like heated because like I don't like my ego being tested like that, especially when I know I'm right about something and like they
Right,
basically
right.
think I'm the stupid
And
one or something. It's like what, man, that just gets to me. I'm a lot better with that now though.
yeah,
Like I let a lot of things go when it comes to stuff like that, especially when it comes to relationships. I just be
yeah,
like, it's
and to be
whatever.
honest, I feel you. And to be honest, I can really agree with that, in a way because, you know, everybody has like a little bit of pride in them. I'm not saying that, some people have better control over their pride and egos and stuff like that.
Right.
But, one thing about like, all right, for me, for example, like me, like it's what you like. You just, I feel like if I show you a certain level of respect and I speak to you cordial, speak to me cordial,
Right.
you know. And if you say something out of line or of course I'm gonna get mad, upset, or something like that, and but I a certain way all the time. So,
That's true.
but how you talk to people is a factor in that because if you just can't say anything you want to everybody because everybody don't react the same way.
Exactly, or even understand what you're saying. And everybody
Right.
just understand you. That's why it's just pointless arguing with some people, or even trying to speak to certain people about certain topics, because they're not gonna understand what you're saying, and then
Exactly.
and then it might end up making you mad because they trying to be like they saying you don't know what you talking about because they don't understand what you're saying. So you sitting
Right.
there getting angry and heated over something that don't even matter over somebody, just not even listening to what
Exactly.
you're saying.
Exactly. And on
The
top
key
of that,
point
they
is,
could say something to disrespect you too. So then it's gonna make it even worse.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
you see, even with that, a lot of times, like, people might not understand, and then there's the side where I think that people don't want to understand. Because I told this person, like, for example, like, you posted it, and they tried to argue,
Right.
and you're like, oh, that don't mean nothing. And I'm like, all right, I'm just done talking. Because if you can't even understand, if you're not trying to understand what I'm saying, this conversation's done.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. Because when you post stuff on social media, though, no matter how like how much you try to like take stuff down or take back what you said on social media, people can't unsee that. So people already saw it. Whether it was one or two people, they see it. They saw it.
Oh yeah.
exactly. And even when it comes to, like, egos and stuff like that, it's like, you're right, everybody does have a little bit of pride in them. But one thing I will tell everybody is, don't let your ego destroy something good you might have going, whether it's a friendship, relationship. See, even like, I was always raised to be the bigger person, even in problems that I didn't cause. So, and I'm not saying that you don't have to just sweep everything under the rug. If you write about something, you gotta let them know. But just being a mature person, it just come together and be like, all right, this gotta stop. We about to address this right now.
Yeah, that's
Most def.
basically that's basically like what I was that goes back what I was just saying. I had to I had to change a lot because I tell you, like, my ego used to come first before anything. But now I'm like a lot more rational when it comes to my ego and like what I think is worth it. Like, should I even? It's a lot of stuff I just give up on. If I have an argument with somebody, or I was like, you know what, just forget it. It's
Yeah,
not
I feel
worth
you.
it, or this conversation is not worth it, or I see where it's headed, and it's what's the point even trying to
Right,
argue
right.
my point? But sometimes I get to points where I feel like I have to argue my point, but because it be important or something. Anymore now, if it don't matter to me, and I think the loss is gonna be more than the gain, most of the time they don't even, after the argument is done, they not, it's y'all still gonna be debated anyway. Like, nobody is gonna settle and disagree like, yeah, you're right. Usually y'all in the argument still, opposing each other, so and not like agreeing with each other at the end of the argument anyway. So you just gotta decide that, and be like,
Yeah, you got a
it's
point.
not even worth it. Just not even
Right.
worth it.
Because
Nah.
egos and pride, if it's gonna be a factor, at least fight the battles that's worth fighting. You know?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And we about to get into our next part of the show, which is crossing the line. Man,
Oh man.
Oh no, Dirk. You didn't cross the line.
I swear, I try to tell everybody, it's certain things that you just don't say to people. Because, like Keemstream said, everybody doesn't react the same way. A person could get mouthy with another person, but the next person might slap you.
True.
People just gotta watch what they say. I remember this one person, I'm not gonna say her name, but she had said something highly disrespectful to me, and I had cut into her, and she was acting like she was about to cry about what I said.
Right.
And I was just thinking, like,
like
teach you that if you say something like that, and there's a possibility that another person is gonna say that back, or they teach you that you just exempt. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not, especially with me.
yeah, most def. Cause, you know, like you said, people don't take everything the same way, and people are more, quick tempered than others. So that's that respect that I'm talking about too. Like that's a form of respect. Like it's easier for people to say, oh, don't speak to me, don't talk to me this way, or this, that, and the other. And then for you to just jump right back into somebody else's life and do the same thing to them. It's a normal thing, truthfully, because if you think about it, a lot of people use it, like use certain terms, say certain things, every day and think it's okay.
Exactly. Like
You
even
know,
right, like even we had talks as friends and stuff about certain things we don't want to be saying to each other. Now, versus like as a friend versus somebody that we don't know, like I might have more patience for a friend who says something like that. But eventually, if you say something to me that I told you specifically I don't like people saying, then we gonna have a problem because the outside person may not know me. You know what I mean? So I can
right,
react
right.
to a different something. I came to you and told you something personal. It's about respect. And that anyway, it shows that you disregarding everything and you disrespecting me.
Right, and not even to mention the fact that, even if you just playing with somebody, if you playing, what about with the other person? Some people might be in bad moods or something like that. Not saying it's everybody else's problem, but just saying, you come up to that person, they could take it the wrong way because of something they're going through too. So that's just a lack of understanding and actually being aware of certain things like that. So you got to take stuff like that into consideration as well.
True. Sensei, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with Nakeem on that. Well, I agree with both of y'all on that for the most part. I don't have much to say about that really. Just be a imitation of what y'all just say really.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah. And because, I mean, just a real quick example. I mean, like, just certain situations of, you know, just being in school, for example, you might not even necessarily be friends with this person. You might just be cool with him or her, and you see somebody go up to them and you say, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that, or maybe you shouldn't do this right now because that person's not really in a good mood right now. And they don't listen, they don't heed that warning. Something happens, it's a fight or something like that, just for a quick example, you know. And it happens, you know, it happens like almost all the time when it comes to, just for you people to just stop and just listen and say, hey, maybe another day, maybe.
Exactly. And then, like the fact that people have lacks of understanding, and they'll say something like, "Oh, forget this. I ain't got time for childish shit. I'm moving on to something better." And I'm just thinking, like, if you can't understand something simple, how you gonna understand something complex? You can't even understand the meaning of the word like stop, listen, don't do this to me. I won't do this to you. Like people have the biggest problem with that. If if you can't take what you dish out, you shouldn't be doing it. But some people have been raised to think that they're the exception to everything.
Because like, I mean, even in that sense, like, like some people might say like, well, it was one person, they like tired yourself thing over, don't listen to you, or people don't take you seriously. And I'm just telling this person like, yeah, you say that, but you're one of those people though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I had another example too of lack of understanding. Cause I remember it was a situation where I had got sick from drinking too much pop and stuff like that, caffeinated pop. And I told this person, I was like, "Hey, this just happened to me. You might want to slow down on it." And this person literally told me, "I
Right.
don't know, bro. That junk is pretty good. I might have to go through what you did." And I was like, and then weeks later, this man gonna say, "Bro, you can tell somebody something for their own good, and they'll still do it." And I'm like, "You mean like you?"
He said, you mean like you?
So I'm like,
He
like
said, I
you,
don't know, man. This Pepsi is, oh man, it's good.
like, yeah, that's just another point of people contradicting themselves. Like, do you not do you not realize what you say?
True. That's just an important thing, man. It's communication, man. Regardless, is
Oh yeah, it's key with
it's never
everybody,
gonna
bro.
be. right. It's never gonna be a non-factor in life. Period. Communication is always gonna have to be relevant
Especially like
for sure.
not even if you just trying to get a message out there. It's a PSA. You know, you talking to a friend, you talking to your wife, your girlfriend, your best friend. It don't matter. You know, you
Right.
always gotta have communication. You know,
Right.
and
Marvel versus
Yeah.
DC.
yeah, when you debating Marvel versus DC, you know, when you debating, you know who
Right.
the you debating who the strongest character in Naruto. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just,
Right.
you know, it's just communication.
DBZ.
It's communication, man. It's communication.
And with that being said, we're gonna jump into our final thoughts, and we're gonna do it the same way. Fine. All right, Sensei, we'll start with you first.
You know, as far as my final thoughts go, you know, I've experienced it firsthand. I grew up, I matured, and I realized how important communication was and how I should just, you know, and not everybody was going to understand what I was saying and how it can just escalate when, you know, there's that line between somebody understanding what you're saying and it's, you know, just chill out. Don't even try to explain your point and escalate the situation. You know, I got a lot better with that. And it showed me, you know, made me a better person. Showed me just how important communication was in life, and how it was just best to just let things go when it's not even really worth it. Instead of just explaining and arguing your point, especially over stuff that doesn't matter, you know.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, like you said, as far as listening to respond, try to people, if something it says something for your own good. Everything doesn't have to be a top. Especially if somebody say, hey, maybe you should try to pick this up this way. You say, no, I got it. Just chill. Just breathe. And as far as like egos and pride, I mean, try to if it has to go that far and that has to be a necessary factor, at least make sure that it's a battle worth fighting. Like I said earlier, pretty much. And my last thoughts to sum it all up. Like I said, communication is always going to be a factor. So you can't say what you want to everybody because once again, they don't all react the same. And it's a life lesson. For everybody of any age group, all around. Because it don't just happen with young kids, adults, young adults, whatever, teenagers. It happens with everybody. And it's just time that everybody learn what the true, factors of communication really is.
Yeah. And good final thoughts, you guys. And I just wanted to share something with me with everyone for my final thought. Like, as far as communication problems, like with myself, I used to have this issue where I would be talking and a person would ask me what I said, and I'd just be like, forget it, because I would think that this person wasn't listening to me. But people would tell me that, hey, we were listening. I just couldn't hear you. You got to speak up a little bit. So I had to recognize that and learn the patience to understand that they were listening, but I just had to speak up. But as far as lack of understanding, I implore everybody, before you just take something out of context, no pun intended, try listening to what they're saying. And if you don't understand something, ask them what they mean. Egos, don't let some false sense of entitlement stop you from living your life. And as far as crossing the line, like Nakeem said, and I said earlier, it's certain things you don't say to people because you don't know how they're going to react. So think about what you're going to say before you say it.
True.
Exactly.
But
most definitely, man.
Especially, just try to understand people. Listen and try to understand what they're saying. No matter how mad you are, man, just try.
Right.
Just try.
And it's good to be outspoken. But you have to be able to listen too. You can talk all day. Anybody can talk all day. But it takes that true character, man, to be able to stop 1 second and just listen for however long you need to.
Yeah, bro. Just try to understand people. Try. That's what that's what type of person I am now. I try to listen and understand people. No matter how angry I am at them or how I think their idea is stupid, I hear them out and I try to listen to them. You just gotta be understanding and fair. Cause I hate when I'm just saying all this type of stuff and they not listening. They just continue to say what they saying, and when I say something, it just go across their head, and I just answer their question that they just asked me like 3 minutes ago, but they wasn't listening or even cared what I said. You know, you gotta listen and understand.
Yep. And don't get me wrong. And as far as one more thing, as far as egos, being the first one to come to try to solve a problem doesn't mean that you were the weaker one. It just means that you were the mature one that says, hey, some of this stuff got to stop. Let's take care of it. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sweep everything under the rug and come to a resolution.
Right, and then if that person don't understand, just move on.
Right, exactly. Once again, I wanted to thank the two of y'all for doing this episode with us. I'm going to put your channel links in the description. Any new social media or anything you want to tell the people about?
I mean, you know, you want to find me on social media anywhere. You find me on all social media platforms except for Twitter and on Facebook, DFG Keemstream, Instagram, Keemstream, and also Snapchat, Keemstream as well.
Let me see. I don't have a channel Twitter. I don't have a channel Instagram, but you can keep in contact with all of us through our YouTube channels or through the Truth Out of Context Instagram. If you want to comment on something or DM it or whatever, or in my channel will be in the description. Shisui Sensei, of course. You know what I'm saying. That's it. You know what I'm saying.
But yeah, one more thing to add really quickly. Just warn anybody who, tries to follow me on like social media or whatever. I don't be on social media a whole lot. I just get on there, check in time to time, and talk about like, truths out of context and my personal channel, Keemstream, and all that. Sometimes I just get on there to talk about mostly stuff like that. Nothing else really. So just let everybody know.
And also other members can be here, so check out their channels too. X-Quan Gaming and Variety Princess. Those links will be in the description too. But as always, TOOC, get it right, get it tight. Stay strong. Don't take what we say out of context. Peace and love.